Okay. All righty. Let me go back to Zoom as we're going live so I can see Terri.
I'm winging it since I didn't get a list of questions.
Oh, I sent you. I'm sorry. I was having internet trouble.
That's okay.
Okay. Good afternoon. This is Loreena Hagenbart, and I work with the Center. Oh, I've got delayed. That's weird. Can you hear me okay, Terri?
I can hear you, ma'am.
Okay, for some reason it's showing a delay on my side, so I'm not quite sure. Okay. Good afternoon. I'm Loreena Hagenbart. I'm a parent mentor for the Center for Exceptional Families. And I work for the north central part of Arkansas. And I am the parent mentor for, like I said, the north central part. And Terri, can you hear me okay?
I can hear you, but your screen is froze now. Oh, you're back up.
I wonder what happened. Okay. Anyway, I also work with Terri on the board for the Arkansas Council for Military Children. And I have invited Terri to be part of this activity that I want to introduce as the month of the military child. And so Terri is here, and she works as a school liaison project manager for the Little Rock Air Force Base, and she's been doing this since 2019. She's also been employed by the Department of the Air Force on the installation there since 2002, working as a child and youth programs. She has also been working with military family at other installations since 1994. And Terri's primary role is to ensure a smooth transition for all military families and their educational needs while assigned to Arkansas. Mrs. Williams also assists school districts with professional development, military events, and family engagement. In her role serving as the Arkansas Council for Military Children, Mrs. Williams is able to advocate for the parents, the scholars, and the unique needs of the families by promoting and proposing legislative changes to these challenges. So today I want to ask Terri, can you elaborate on your position as a school liaison project manager?
Yes, ma'am. So like today, I had two families come in and they are new to our installation. So when they in process to the installation, they step by my office. I am on their checklist. And so they would step by and come in and basically just check in with me, make sure they're where they need to be in their school district. I would ask them if they have any special needs, ask them if they have their 504s, IEPs in place. Do they need any kind of updates to those? Make sure that they're in the correct district. See if they have any questions on registration. Explain the Military Interstate Children's Compact a little bit. I would also go into some of our extra Arkansas situations that we have, such as introducing the DMEC to them in their district, making sure that they know where they can go for extra questions or situations that they may have before they circle back and come to me to help out with anything. Always try to work things out within their district at first. I also make sure that they understand that we have programs called tutor.com, make sure that they know we have other EFMP offices that can help with other situations. Go through a variety of things that we offer here at the installation, such as Airmen and Family Readiness and the MFLAC, the Military Family Life Counselors. So I just kind of give them an overall briefing. And then I do let them know that I'm their school liaison for the whole entire time that they're here at the installation. And then I will also give them a warm handoff whenever they move on to their next installation. So that's me in a nutshell.
Okay, can you mention the EFMP? Can you talk about that just briefly? Because it's fairly new for me.
Okay, that is the Exceptional Family Member Program. Here at the installation, if you have a child that has, or any family member, some airmen are on that program, some spouses are on that program, and that is the Exceptional Family Member Program. And that's what the EFMP stands for. But that is where if you have any kind of special needs within your family, that you go and you basically register to be a part of that program, and you will receive lots of additional support. So it may be that your family needs outside resources. It helps you get familiar with your primary care physician, and to, if you need extra medical resources, if you need extra therapies, if you need to get on Tefra, if you need help with insurance purposes, if you need help with anything. We also have a program here for exceptional family members that we just do activities. We all get together and we may all go painting, or we may all go, some children can sign up for horseback riding, or, we do different things. We have a EFMP program dance once in a great while, or sometimes we just rent out an area and bring in all kinds of bouncy houses and just different things. So that is our program as a whole. And we have different offices. We have one at the Med Group. We have one in Airmen and Family Readiness. And then myself, who helps out with the school situation. So if you have a 504 or IEP plan, and for instance, if you're supposed to receive speech 2 days a week, and the first day is pretty good, but that second day is kind of iffy, it tends to drop off a little bit, then you've tried working it out with the school, and you've talked to them a few times and it's still not working out really well, then you come to me, and it's my job to go in there and say, hey, maybe we should switch. Instead of Tuesday, Thursdays, maybe we go to Monday, Wednesday, because that Thursday is not working out too well. Or what can we do to ensure that that second day happens? So that's where I come into play with that.
Mhm. Well, thank you, Terri. That was that helped me anyway.
Yeah.
Why is it important that we promote April as the month of the military child?
Our kiddos put up with a great deal of stressors themselves, and our kiddos put up with a lot having military parents. And so I think instead of like a day, they deserve an entire month to celebrate. They, move 6 to 8 times within their 13 years of education. I just giving out an award, April 7th, we were giving out a separate award for a school. And this little girl was in the 4th grade, and she said she had moved 6 times already. It was her 6th move, and she had only been in school for 4 years. And it just breaks my heart because I feel her pain. I was a military child myself, and we didn't have month of the military child then. So I remember my 5th grade year, I went to 3 different schools in 3 different states. And I always laugh, and my husband says, that's why I can talk to a tree. But it's true. I mean, I can hold a conversation with a brick wall. So I think it's important because they have the same emotions that we do. They're just smaller, and they can't always put it into words. They feel the same nervousness that we do moving to a new installation, but they don't sometimes have the same resources that we do or know what to do with those nerves. Just as we start a new job or go anywhere new, we're wondering who are we going to meet and who's our friends going to be, because we're leaving our friends behind. They do the exact same thing, but at an age where friends are their primary person. That's their whole world during the day is who, we go to work and we have a job to do, but their whole day revolves around their friends. And so they're giving up an awful lot to have a military parent. And they're in a school all day long where friends are their most important thing. And who are they going to eat lunch with that first week? Or who are they going to play on the playground with that first week? So I think it's very important to focus on those disadvantages that they have during a military move. And we should celebrate the resilience that they provide or that they have, and, go through those 12, 13 years of education and doing those 6 to 8 moves that they do.
Yeah, I'm a military wife or spouse, and our children went to Department of Defense schools, so we never experienced civilian life schools. And so I remember my daughter, my kiddos, when they were teenagers, and we moved from Tennessee back to Germany to the beautiful town of Würzburg. And my daughter, it was like in September, school had already started. They had already selected the teams, for the sports and stuff. So Jessica was a walk-on to try out for volleyball. And so she made the team, but we didn't have that in place like what they have now, that,
Right.
that I forget what the law is, and I'll let you do that. But the funny thing was, to help me, my daughter goes, my mother used to play volleyball. She has nothing to do at home. I'm sure she could help you. Well, I ended up getting paid a mom to be the assistant coach. But it was really neat to see that they accepted. Of course, when you're living amongst the military and you're going to the same school, it's a little bit different, I believe, than when you are in the civilian world. And
Right.
so does the Air Force have schools on the base, or do they go to Jacksonville, or same thing out?
We have a charter middle school on base.
Okay.
But we do not have a public school on base any longer. We used to. But when Jacksonville North Pulaski became their own school district, they had to rebuild all of their schools from the ground up. And so Arnold Drive was as old as the base is. And so it was a school that was tore down and built into the beautiful Bobby G. Lester now that we have. And so,
nice.
yes, it's a very nice school now. But it was, falling apart. It was as old as the base. So they got a nice, bright, shiny school. It's just right outside the gate. And I mean, literally right outside the gate. So very nice.
The schools that the children had in Würzburg, some of them were old, and they built the middle school. And so I, of course, became a long-term substitute teacher there. So the difference between the new school and the old school was, night and day, high-tech things and, all of that. So, and the other thing I have to put a kudo for the Air Force is for housing. And where we were, the Air Force got extra money because the Air Force thought that the housing we were in was substandard, so they gave part of their allowance back. I remember that. I was like, I thought ours was pretty good. But anyway, I guess and of course you guys, you get the first foods because you fly it in. So your commissaries were just beautiful compared to some others. You had mentioned that you went to a school recently, and that was for the Purple Star program.
Well, I have actually given out quite a lot of awards lately. We did.
Oh, have you? Okay.
Yes, we did the Purple Star to a few districts that became Purple Star schools lately. And then we have given out the Fulcrum Shield Award to an elementary school in Cabot for continuing up their campaign to Red Ribbon Week. So that was actually a DoD award where they were given honorable mention. They won for the school year 2020, 2021. They won for local for Arkansas, and then for the air base recognition. And then they went up to the next level, which was DoD, and they won honorable mention for DoD. And so they were given a plaque from DoD. And so it came down finally. Everything's delayed with COVID lately. But it finally come down, and we awarded them that in April. And it just so happened to coincide with Month of the Military Child. So it was really nice.
Now, how did that come to be? How did they qualify
Yes, that is something that, the Air Force Base and the DDR, the Drug Demand Reduction Program, they sponsor with the state of Arkansas, the Red Ribbon Program. So we did 19 schools last year that actually got material from the Air Force Base, from OSD. And the rest of the state, through the Facebook page, gets the curriculum and gets the content of the Red Ribbon Program. But only 19 schools could we actually give material to, which is the Red Ribbon posters and the the pins and the t-shirts and all of that, because that was about $80,000 worth of materials that they got.
Wow.
This year we're going to give 22 schools. Every year we just grow a little bit bigger and bigger, but we're going to give 22 schools the actual materials. But through our Facebook page, which is Little Rock AFB Red Ribbon, we give the whole state, whoever wants to access it, we give the curriculum materials to. But if the school decides that they want to continue the campaign, from the last week of October is National Red Ribbon Week. And if they wish to continue it through the rest of the school year, then they can put together a little snapshot of what all they do. And we put all of the information out. And if they want to apply for this award, then they can send us a package and we give them all the information to submit. They can put together a little packet of what all the activities they have continued to do through the rest of the year, and they can apply for it. And that's what a couple of school districts did. That year was the first year that we did it. And we got back a handful of applications, and this school was selected. It was Southside Elementary, and they were selected. And the base commander picks the package, and so they picked it. The BX on base awarded this school a friendship bench. And so the friendship bench is sitting outside of the school. We all went out and presented it to them, and it was very nice. And so they got their friendship bench with a little plaque on the bench. And then we took that package and we submitted it up to OSD, to DOD, for them to pick. And so they became the honorable mention.
So do they submit videos, little vignettes of, is that how they do it? Or is it paperwork or pictures?
Yep, it's a paper packet, but you can embed either pictures or videos or whatever you want to embed. It's all through, email. So you can
okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's easier. Email's a lot easier to do the vignettes.
Yeah.
Now, did you say all the schools can participate, or all the?
So right before, probably about the beginning of September, we get ready for Red Ribbon Week, and we really pump up our Red Ribbon page, and we get it all hyped up and, gather all of the documents, whichever the campaign is going to be this year. Each year they kind of have a new little slogan and stuff. So we get it all fired up and get it going. And we send that all out through to all the school districts, to all the principals and counselors. And then it's up to them to share and if they want to participate or not, but it goes out statewide.
Okay. So did the news pick this up so that everybody could see and maybe tweak them to challenge to do that? Do you know?
I know the Arkansas Department of Education gets it.
Okay.
But yeah, so it goes out. So I'm not sure if any local news stations picked it up or not, but it goes out and the Department of Education gets it.
Okay. And then going to the Purple Star schools. I know I interviewed Colonel Kamenar earlier, and he mentioned, the process, and I did attend the training that they have for the districts to participate in. I forget the title. I don't have my notes in front of me, but that was pretty informative in what they need to do. And I was very impressed with the superintendent at Fort Smith, that he's got a hefty goal. What is it? 7 schools by Thursday?
Yes, and actually they made the district.
They did.
So,
okay. Yeah. So
unfortunately, I can't be there during this one. I just got word on Friday, actually. Up until Friday, I was planning on being there, but I have to go to Barksdale Air Force Base. And I have a rocket training that I have to attend. Yes, I'm leaving tomorrow afternoon, and I'm in a rocket training on Wednesday, Thursday.
In my mind, I'm trying to figure out what you get to do with that training that has to do with school liaison officer or Arkansas military.
It's actually for Starbase. It's a STEM rocket. So I'm going to be building 3D STEM rockets. So I get to use the 3D printer and make my own rocket.
Okay.
Yes, it's for Starbase. which is coming to the Air Force Base soon. So
That sounds like one of those old cartoons I used to watch with the puppets, a Star Command, What is Starbase?
Starbase is a science week camp. Basically, it's for fifth graders, and it's coming to Little Rock Air Force Base. I'm hoping to have it open by the end of September, and it will, well, mid to end of September. And it is a 20-hour camp that school districts can send their kiddos to for 5 from 9 to 2 for 5 sessions. So they can either choose like every Monday for 5 weeks straight, or they can attend a week long, Monday through Friday. However they choose to do that. But my goal would be Monday through Friday because, Monday to Monday, they may forget what they're working on. You want to keep it fresh in their minds. Sure. But if, we were just awarded at the end of March, and it's going to be absolutely fantastic. We'll have 3 classrooms of 30 kids each, and it'll run all year long. Wow. So the schools can take advantage, during the school year, and then during the summer, we will open it up to homeschoolers and maybe church camps or, anybody as long as they're 5th grade. And then after we have that for a year, we can open it up to middle school.
Wow. So are we looking the students that are more local to the Air Force Base?
Probably within an hour distance. Okay. Because it's from 9 to 2. So by the time they get to school about 8 o'clock, 7:45, 8 o'clock, hop on the bus, come in. But after we do this for a year, and then we can apply to have more programs. I'm hoping to have one up around Fort Chaffee, Ebbing, and then I'm hoping to open one up down south. So, yeah, we just have to make this one successful first.
Well, I want to be smart like those 5th graders. I want to go. That sounds like a great experience for the kids as well as for you. I mean, gee. Anyway, can you elaborate on the Purple Star program?
Yes, ma'am. The Purple Star program is a way for schools to earn an achievement to go a little bit above and beyond for our military families. So it is just a recognition that the school district, I want to say, just works really hard to get those kiddos, to help understand what it's like to be a military family. So the teachers and the staff are a little bit, more trained on military connections and concerns. And I say connections as in that relationship and that bond. So if I knew that I had some military children in my classroom and that were going through deployments, I know how to help them. I know work resources and ways to help that child. So the teachers and the staff have a little extra training in that. And they know what to look for signs that a child is having some difficulties with a parent being deployed. So we provide the training, and it's completely free. And there are a few little commitments that the school needs to make. We're looking for them to have maybe some activities throughout the school year that help with military families, such as maybe, deployment clubs or breakfast with the families or something like that. Especially during Month of the Military Child, they could have, parades through their parking lot, or maybe parades through the hallways and through the classrooms. If you have a military family that's coming back from deployment, maybe, help work out a situation where they surprise their child in the classroom one day. Things of that nature, nothing above and beyond that, that's extreme, but just little ways to help that family adjust and understand that they go through some difficulties. And like I said, we provide the training. We help in any way. There's a spot on your website that you can provide the resources for families to help out and reach out to, such as our Airman Family Readiness or my information. That's a big one that we want you to have on the website, so they can always contact me if they need anything. And of course, Commissioner Kavanaugh. And that was one of them. We also give you a list of websites that families can use, such as Military Children's Coalition, different ones like that, that the families could reach out to and get some extra information.
So how many schools off the top of your head that's made the Purple Star school?
I think now we're up to like 7 school districts. Now,
Okay.
schools, of course, are quite a lot. Once the school, you get inside your district, you can have 1 or 2 schools earn the achievement at a time. But once all of your schools earn the achievement, then you become a Purple Star district. And so I think we're up to like 7 districts now.
Wonderful.
Yeah, maybe about 7.
Okay. So when you, what do you do to inform the schools or the school district that they've made the qualifications necessary to be a Purple Star school or a Purple Star district?
So yes, ma'am. The schools, we are always promoting the program all the time. Anytime I go to a school, if they have not become a Purple Star school or district, I am always promoting this program. We have total, our children in the state of Arkansas, we have 8,439 military kiddos in our state.
Mm-hmm.
So there is about 1,200 schools in our state that have at least one military child in there. And that's a lot. So anywhere I go, I am promoting Purple Star program because it affects over half of our state. So that's something that I just preach and push every school district that I go to. But what they can do is they just apply, and it's really quite simple. We do the training if they have not received the training, and we'll do a Zoom. I think Fort Smith, we did the Zoom on the holiday. And so Commissioner Kavanaugh and I, it was not a school holiday, but it was a federal holiday for us. And we don't mind. We just jump on the Zoom and do the training. And it takes about 1.5 hours to do the training. And we go over, you've attended it. It's very informative. And it covers a ton of stuff. So it's not just about what you have to do. It's just getting some overall knowledge about what these families go through. So they attend the training, and there's just a small application process of, what you need to have on your website. And we go through and check that out. And then we push it through to an awards panel, but, we help them out with their website to make sure that they have everything correct. Once they do, we push it through to the awards panel. We vote on it. And then as long as we've double checked everything, then we go through to our council, our state council, and then they vote. And then a lot of times the schools will attend that council meeting because it is open to the public. And then we let them know they've been approved. And then once they have, then I take the banners out to them and we do a small little celebration with the banner.
That's what I was getting at. They receive a banner so that they can proudly put that on their school grounds so people can see that. I know for me, I saw it at one of the schools, and before I was involved with the Arkansas Council for Military Child, and I thought, well, that's really cool. I wonder what that is. Of course, then I went online, and I checked it out. But and of course, there's really no competition, but there's competition in a sense because I can, of course, Fort Smith and Cabot, right, are the largest districts in Arkansas. Is that the correct?
Not
okay.
in Arkansas. Not in Arkansas. Little Rock School District has 22 schools, I believe it is.
Oh, Little Rock. Oh, okay.
Yeah, Little Rock has 22, but those are, some of the largest, yes. So the school district gets to decide how they want to do their presentation. I've been to some where, like Cabot, we spent the morning driving in circles all over Cabot to every school district, and we presented it in front of that school with that staff holding up the banner. Some districts want to do it at the board, and each school principal comes up and we hold it up in front of the board at the board meeting. Some just do it individually. It just depends on how the school wants to do it. I had one who brought out the TV station and who brought out, everybody. And it just depends on how they want to do it.
Yes.
I'm there for them. So however they want to do the presentation is perfectly fine. I had one who did it at a town hall. And so all of the schools, because it's Lighthouse Academies. So they have locations in Fort Smith, Pine Bluff, and here in Jacksonville. So they did a town hall with everybody on a big Zoom. And that was a lot of fun because the students were all in the cafeterias and everybody was on Zoom together, and Colonel Smith and I presented it and everybody was cheering. They had the big projector screen and everybody was on there, and it was kind of fun. That was different. So it's all how the school wants to do it. So I let them decide, and I just show up with a banner, smiling and waving.
Well, that's wonderful. I love that we've got several different medias to me. I should say medium of media
Yeah.
to spread the good news. And I know with talking to Colonel Kamenar in my interview, his goal is every school in Arkansas. And
Oh, that's my goal.
but well, that's what his. But wasn't yours to beat Ohio?
Yes, I want to beat Ohio. As long as I can jump ahead of them, but I would like to see every school in Arkansas, just because we have so many military members here.
Yes.
And I mean, over half. So, I think it's pretty much every school district has a military child. So if, they could get all of their districts to be Purple Star, because you never know when a child is going to leave. Once, say they're in an elementary school and then they move up to middle school and then they move to high school. So that district should have, should be a military school.
Yes.
So,
and we have a lot of course, my late husband was military. So we have a lot of retirees throughout the state too. So, and that, of course, they can say grandparents, whatever, to be able to promote that through the VFW, the Legion, or any of that would be a good avenue to spread out as well. I just have one other. What is the state's date for promoting the military child?
Ours is April the 22nd.
Okay.
And we do that. It's a little different from national because the national day this year was April 15th, and that's Good Friday. So a lot of our school districts were closed on Good Friday. So we celebrate the Friday after when that happens. Okay. It's not always the case, but this year it was. And so we did the Friday after because the Friday before was a little too early. And we wanted to give some of the school districts time to do some activities and time to, just plan some events, because if you do it too early, then, that's boom, boom, boom. And then you have the rest of the month and it kind of falls off. Yes. So we did it the 22nd so we could do lots of different things. So, well, if it's ever the same as Good Friday, we do it the Friday after.
Okay. The other is, Jody Bergstrom.
Yes.
And I'm going to interview Jody next Monday, and she's going to talk about Camp Connect. So, and I know you're aware of what that is, and it's fairly, like I said, all of this is fairly new to me, but I'm looking forward to the interview with Jody. Can you give a little summary of your knowledge of Jody?
Jody, I actually just got off the phone with her a bit ago. Jody and I we work a lot together with Camp Alliance. She's actually going to be at an event with me April the 30th. And we just, we form circles around each other, working with the military families in lots of different ways. So this event that we're having on the April 30th is for educators, and it's part of that, point that I was making to you that I train educators. And she's coming in basically to help me and to do a booth on, well, my event is to help educators understand the resources that the Air Force Base provides. I'm going to have a panel there with all the things that I've talked to you about, EFMP, the Exceptional Family Member Program, our MFLACs, which are our Military Family Life Counselors. Commissioner Kamenar will be there talking about MIG-3. I'll have a spot for myself talking about school liaison support, and we'll have Military One Source there. I have two trainers coming in, KIT, which is Kids Included Together, and Anchored for Life, which is a peer club support group. And those two will be coming in talking about all of the support that school districts can provide with resiliency and reintegration and relationship support that school districts provide, all of this for military families on school grounds. And so with Jody, we just run in this small same circle because we have the same common goal. And Jody has just been a big beneficial part of the family connection to my program, to the MIC3, and to the school districts, and just making sure that we are taking care of all of these airmen. And, you know, that's one of the reasons I want to have her at this educator event, is just because she is part of that big giant circle that we have. So you have military members, families, scholars, school districts, and the resources that the bases provide. And it's just, it goes in a circle. And when you have that circle, it's complete, then everything runs smoothly and families have all of their transition support that they need.
Yes.
And that way the military member can go do their mission and not have to worry about what the families are doing.
And so what time is this on the 30th?
It's going to be from 7:30 to 1. But you know, I have 6 school districts coming out this year.
Good.
And so next year I'm hoping to have a different 6. In the location that I'm holding it, I had to scale down to about 300. I was going to invite all 11 school districts that surround the base, but that was going to be about 800 people.
Wow.
And so I needed to scale it down a little bit. And so I'm going to have about 300 superintendents, counselors, district military education coordinators, and teachers out.
Wonderful.
Yes. So we're going to just talk about, you know, relationships and reintegration and supporting those military kiddos. Well,
you've got a full plate. And I bless you for taking the valuable time that you do have to talk with us today. And I look forward to, our meeting is what, not this Wednesday, but the following, right?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
I look forward to talking to you again then in next week.
Thank you. This has been so much fun. I appreciate it.
This is a first for me. So I thank you so you take care and have a wonderful day.
You too.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.